everybody, you're welcome to another amazing and interesting episode of Just a Chat with Bumi Alabi. And I'm not here alone as usual. I have my amazing sisters who are going to join me on this discussion. And I have here with me Mrs. Kalejaye, right from the extreme end, and Mrs. Victoria Ibirogba. And as usual, my name is Bumi Alabi, your host on this show. So today we are here again to continue our conversation last week. We started this conversation about behavior of a child. That is it determined by that who has the sole responsibility of a child's behavior? Is it the parents, the home upbringing of the child, or the society? And we did justice to that, to an extent, and we really had the man in the house last week who was able to share his own experience. And I said that topic is a very wide topic that we can't even finish. And I said we're going to continue, And this week, something came up yesterday. We're just trying to look at, okay, how do we just navigate this topic again and talk about this behavior of a child? And the topic came up again that, okay, must parents always meet the need of a child? As in, meeting the need of a child, is it an effective way of training a child? And that one really came up from a video that I think the video is not yet going viral because I've not really set my eyes on the video actually, because I've not seen it on Instablog, on some bloggers have not seen it. But after I shared the video, a lot of people really, I could see that they shared it and they were trying to, just distribute it to different, maybe their site and bloggers. So obviously it's going to trend very soon. Seeing the video, I was really, I felt so disgusted watching that video. Because you don't send the video to me, and I said, well, this thing really relates to the topic we're going to discuss. So what do you say about that video? Assuming you are just at the scene, honestly, and you see that child, as you just see a child just climb,
candid opinion,
and just climb where they said the TV and just start pushing, smart as in just start. So what would you do if you were there?
Humanly
speaking,
and to be candid, I would drag that child down and beat the hell out of that child.
He's not your child. You don't care.
Reflex action. Do you know how many TVs that child dropped? And they are not little money.
At all.
But looking at the child, you will notice that there's a whole lot wrong with that child. The mother and the dad, actually, I think they've lost control over that boy. One, because even while the father was talking, the father said, "My son, I beg." Begging your child doing something wrong to come down. Okay, in the first place, where were the parents when the boy was climbing the place and dropped the first TV, got to the second one, dropped it, got to the third one, and for
why can't they even climb that place
and bring down that child? Now, can you imagine the amount of money or debt that boy had incurred on the father? Well, maybe they are wealthy, but maybe they don't have something good enough to use their money for.
Is it about
that?
No, as in, because, for crying out loud, if you see your child doing that, drop the first TV, let's assume that TV, let's say 300 or something thousand. I'm just assuming, I don't know. 300 or something
somebody's
thousand.
school fees.
Thank you. Somebody's school fees. And dropped one. Went to the second one. Let's say that.
And your assistant telling them.
The assistant, I beg myself, calm down.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I said humanly.
Do you know that child? Okay, if it's just TV, if he had seen something more harmful, he would have used
gone.
it.
Because he was actually agitated, as in trying, he was trying to looking for something else to carry. I'm like, look, I'm not content with this TV. I'm not okay with this TV that I'm breaking. Those were his countenance, as in he wanted to damage something. Like you said, assuming he was with a weapon. But at the other hand, I also thought, could the child be autistic?
That's another angle to it.
Could the child be autistic and the parents have actually lost, control over that child and they don't even know what to do? And for me, I would rather they keep that child indoor. Because, instead of bringing that child out to public, because when it has gotten to that level and you are not even comfortable taking that child out, you're not safe then there's no need. Keep him indoor.
Okay, assuming the child is not autistic, Miss Kalejaye, assuming he's not autistic and he just has anger issue, as in they've ruled out every neurological condition like maybe ADHD and you know they've ruled all those things out, and assuming he just has that anger issue. You know, there are some people there are some children like that you know, when they get angry, you know, they could do anything, just break things, break bottle, TV. That one would have been breaking TV at home.
Yes. More than TV.
Yeah, he would have been breaking TV at home.
So many things.
For him to have gone there publicly and just, you know, so assuming he doesn't have all those conditions. And
exactly.
Yes, what do you think is wrong with that child? You know, what would you have done? And if you
honestly, when I watched that clip that yesterday, I was sad. I felt so bad. As in, the first thing I asked, I said, those people standing,
what
are they doing?
That you can't bring down
this young lad. He's too small.
Do you want to tell me that there is no security
around that can pull him down?
I don't know, he would have even enjoyed himself.
Yes.
And maybe he had climbed somewhere, maybe even higher than that, and he just fall down from it.
Even the guy can do the worst thing by stabbing himself. If he see any sharp object around. Because the way the guy was shivering, as in the guy anger, and there's a question now came to my mind. The question is, a child's anger, should it be managed or dealt with?
You don't manage a child's anger, you deal with it.
But the father showed
that
he has been
managing. I mean, even from his voice, you know, it was like, my son, I beg, calm down. I quote him.
That boy, if I were to look at him, he shouldn't be less than 10 years.
10 or 12.
10, 11.
So,
10,
a
11,
child
12.
that has that trait, I'm sure she didn't just pick it up along the way.
No, definitely.
He would have been portraying
yes, and they've been managing it.
Now,
dealing with it. Not dealing with from the onset.
Now, the child, it's not even from one. You know, from between the month of 6, let me just say
6 months.
6 months, a child starts exhibiting, either anger or something.
Just throwing tantrums
and all that.
Which is a normal thing for a child.
Because
between that maybe like 6 months or 3 years.
Because she feels the bad from the right.
She feels maybe he or she feels that's the right way to express his frustration, his pain. Okay, if I scream, if I shout, mommy will attend to me.
I will get the
attention. But you know, if such is not dealt with at that tender age, you know, such a child has a tendency to grow
up with it. Because
the result, and that's not even the final result. You know, the concept of everything we're talking about is, okay, there are some traces in adults that should have been dealt with while they were a child. Obviously, this child is going to grow up to be a narcissist. Someone that that's egocentric, that believes that, okay, I can just do anything
and get away with it.
Help.
Honestly.
Let's just leave the guy now, as he has. How about children that, you know, that are spoiled brats?
Okay, now,
you know, from the topic we're talking about, because we are assuming that, okay, perhaps he wanted to get something at ShopRite, and daddy said, no, I'm not going to get it for you. And you say, oh, if I break TV, maybe they're going to get it for me. So let's not start with that.
Okay, let me just play a scenario before I touch that. Okay. Now, I have, think about 6 months old baby now, you all know. And when she wants something, you see, you know, and she's, and the mommy will like, if you don't stop, I'm not going to give you. It's just 6 months. I was like, okay, be crying now, you know, and the mommy will be like, no, no, no. And she's looking directly to the mommy's face. Even while me, I'm like, please now, give it to her. She'll say, mommy, no, I'm not going to do that. She needs to learn to control her anger. That's a 6 month old baby.
6 month old baby.
Now, once she sees her mom's countenance, she will just relax. Then her mom will now give her, maybe start breastfeeding her. But first of all, I want us to differentiate between what we call needs and wants. Now,
Very important.
because when you don't make the child understand that needs are different from wants, you create a serious problem in the home. Now, as a parent, what is a need? Now, let me go back to the Bible. The Bible says the Lord will meet us at the point of our needs. Meaning, needs are what? Important. But wants are just things you like,
Desire to
you
have.
desire to have, but can decline if it's not necessary. You have them. But you're not looking at someone that, after all, Mrs. Kemi has it, so I will have it because I want to show off that I can buy it because she bought it. Those are wants. Now, as a parent, I know that my child will need food.
Yes.
We need shelter.
Clothing.
We need clothing. We need school.
Education.
Which is
we need attention.
We
need
time.
It's very important.
It's not everything is not about money.
Everything is not about money.
Which is the mistake most
people
make. Most parents that are negligent, they are not available. They provide every material things, every luxury they give them.
The next thing you hear is, well, let me give this child what he or she wants. Diane, stop disturbing me. Now, once they want this, the next thing, okay, I'll give you. Now, wants and needs are two different things. Now, my child comes to me, Mommy, I need a laptop. Now, there are different ways you can treat or help a child to understand between needs and wants. And the first thing is telling them the thinking management. Now, sit down. You want a laptop. You want a textbook. Now sit down. I'll ask you a question. What do you need a laptop for? Hey, Mommy, I want to be playing games. I want to do all that. I want to, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What of your textbook? Well, you're asking me for the two things at the same time. So what of your textbook? What do you also need your textbook? Yes, I need your textbook. Okay, fine. We need to do a scale of preference.
Which one is more important?
Which one is more important to you? I'll allow you to do the thinking. You think you're a child. So which one is more important to you? If you don't study your book, you will fail. Your mate will mock you. You will repeat. I'll leave you to go and think of that. Then you play your game and you don't read your book, you fail. So, Mommy, no. Okay, Mommy, can I have my textbook? And I'll tell you that I will give you a gift if you do very well. Now, my gift may not even be your laptop.
Yes.
It may be something that I know that's fine, but I will make that child to understand that, look, go and think about it. If you don't just say no, you can't have it. That child wants to know the reason why you're telling me no.
You're not going to have it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that will bring me to another story. Oh, you want to say something?
I want to say something. Okay, ma, like a situation whereby as she came to you that she needed a laptop and also a textbook. And what you asked her for what she needed a laptop for, and she told you that a coding assignment and there is a game that she is building and she needs that laptop to build. Yes, but at that time
there is no money.
Yes, you cannot have the two at the same time. How do you balance that? Because the two now
they are important.
They are important
now
to the child.
Now you see one thing, kids listen. It depends on how you talk to them. How you present
that to them. Because I have a scenario.
Yes, a man of approach.
I don't believe that there's no child that does not listen. They listen.
Yes.
Now, they look at your countenance. They look at your manner of approach to them. And when you sit your child down and say, okay, fine, the two are very important. And I like the fact that you're trying to develop a game. You're trying to develop yourself in this area. But you know what? At this particular time, Mommy and Daddy does not have the money. Now, for you to convince your children, that will take me to the second part, which is do as I do.
Yes.
that is,
Be
I
their
am
role
living
model.
a
Yes.
flamboyant life
As a
as a
As a
parent,
parent.
and I'm telling my child I cannot
I
afford
cannot
to give
afford it.
him or her that laptop and at the same time the book. Do you understand? That is, they are looking at you,
Yes.
and they're like, my parents can afford
They
it
can
now.
afford it.
My parents have the money, and they're telling their mates in school, don't worry, my dad is rich. After all, I'm not saying don't drive good cars. I'm not saying that, no. But there are times, put your needs above your wants, even in the presence of your children. Let them see that your needs, you are doing needs more than wants. And make them to understand. Now, I will take you back when my first daughter was in school. It was even the principal that called me one day and was like, now, most times it's good to share life experiences so that people will understand,
Connect,
where you're
absolutely.
coming from. And at that time, I wasn't working. I think my husband then just lost his job. So we were like, okay, how are we going to manage the situation? My daughter was barely, I think she was 7, between the age of 6 and 7. And one day I was just like, I don't call her, I said, come. No, she was one that called me. She said, Mommy, they said if we don't pay school fees, we shouldn't come to school. Mommy, please pay my school fees. I don't want to stay away from school. And I laughed. I said, God, help me. I said, okay, come. I said, see, Mommy doesn't have a job. Daddy is struggling right now. But we'll love you to go to school. And we'll put you in one of the best schools, actually. Sure, your school is the best school. He said, yes, I know. I said, okay. I said, I'll come and talk to your principal that we don't have money right now, but we'll definitely pay. She said, well, Mommy, that would be nice. Meaning they will not keep me away from school.
Yes.
I will still go to school despite the fact I've not paid my school fees. And I said, yes. So we followed her to school. We dropped her, and she saw us walk into the principal's office. And okay, I think their head teacher,
Okay.
it's a primary school, their head teacher.
Okay.
And we sat down, and I'm like, the woman was like, first of all, ma, I don't know how you trained this girl, but she's so calm. And the principal actually gave a good comment concerning her. And I'm like, yes, ma, that's the reason why we are here. That she came to tell us that you people said she shouldn't come to school, and that because she has not paid school fees. The woman said, yes, we are actually going to turn them back. But since we came with her and all that, and we pleaded on her behalf, and that was how she stayed in school. She was happy. She didn't even know we had not paid the school fees. Now, at times, school too will also help in that area to also help encourage them, despite the fact that the parents are not forthcoming, especially parents that have come to meet the school. I'm like, okay, fine, please, can you assist us in this way? Because when a child is down psychologically, there's nothing you can do.
You can't concentrate in school.
You never.
Okay, let me now share this story, which is what part of what we're discussing. As I saw the story on Instagram of a 20-year-old boy who committed suicide because his father couldn't afford to give him 50,000 naira. And I'm sure he needed, according to the report, that he needed it to meet some challenges in school. So perhaps it could be maybe money for his project or for a textbook or for handouts in school. Now how do you now manage the situation? Like, honestly, when you hear stories like that, I always like to understand the underlying issue, because I believe before someone could just decide and say, okay, this is going to be the end result. Why would a 20-year-old think, okay, suicide is going to be because my needs or my wants, like it could be needs, it could be want, because they are not met. I think the next stage, the solution is suicide. First of all, I believe there could be something happening to the child. And psychologically to the child. So I later realized that they said the child is from a broken family. Maybe perhaps his parents are going through divorce or something like that. You understand? And I think that's where we need to really understand how parents can manage their children while they are going through maybe divorce, or maybe children going through abusive relationship. We need to talk about that, because sometimes we actually ignore that. As a parent, children that are going through abusive relationship, number one, it affects the child psychologically.
Sure.
And like this child, because the father is not able to meet up
At all.
and he just ended his life. So how do we now draw the line? And like you made mention of something, that the approach
Yeah.
of saying no. Fine, you teach a child that, try to teach a child that, okay, no is possible. Don't always believe that everything is yes. You have to give it to the child. So let them be used to the word no.
No, that's it.
So how do you now balance that situation for someone that I think like 18 years old and just feel, okay, suicide is the next thing. For your child now, like I said, it's always from, growing up.
Yeah.
Growing up, your child has been brought up in the way to understand something, okay. She understand, okay, she needed that education, she needed to be in school.
Yeah.
You understand? And she came to you and you explained to her and she understood the reason.
Sure.
Now, for a parent that can't really explain the reason why you need to stay, at least maybe the reason why they couldn't meet up with the need, she could feel, okay, I could even sort myself out. Maybe for a girl child, look for alternative to get the money. But for a boy child that can't do something like that, he believes suicide is the next thing. So how can we draw the line? Let me hear from you. I think you read the story, right?
Yes, I read the story, and from the story, I could deduce that there are a lot of things that have been happening in the life of the guy, not the boy. Yes, as in, sometimes, most times, children, they watch us.
Sure.
They see some things that they might not come up to you to tell you, but there are some things they see, and in them they concluded that for me to see this kind of a thing, this kind of a trait in my mom or my dad, I'm sure this is what's going to
Exactly.
This is the model. So you have more than we talked about it
mold
last
their
week, that
mind
be
with
the
that.
mirror that your children will look up to,
The
because you are their
first.
first model.
Okay, for example, a mother, a single mother, yes, divorced as a single parent.
Okay.
A single parent that takes ashwebi as the more important.
That one is very common.
Very common.
Yeah.
Very common.
As in compared to the child's school fee. And do you know what? Children face a lot when it comes to not meeting up with needs. I'm not talking about wants now in school.
Exactly.
Need, like school fees and all that.
Exactly.
Makes
Because
them feel inferior.
Even some of them, they call them on the assembly ground,
Yeah.
all their names.
It will
These are the names of the
destabilize
people.
them,
And when you look back at home, your mom is even out of the house, as in Ibadan or
For
for a function.
Party, and your
For a
child
function that he saw that you've gotten a bag, the ashwebi and all that, and you were telling her, don't worry, no, not even no, be patient. I will gather it. Be patient.
That was why I said you do, as I do.
Yes.
It's something we need
And
to be
then
careful.
in the school, they will separate this child. Take this child to the library. In some schools, they take them to the library. Go and read on your own while your mates are in the class. And you see it's really affecting the child. So what do you think of the child? When the child knows that, but my mom can still, even if it is little, fine.
Yes.
The mom might be thinking the ashwebi will not pay off the school fee, will not pay, as they pay the total.
Just pay the half. Just pay the half that
something.
it can afford. Just pay what it can afford.
The
and
child doesn't,
with the
even
school.
the child doesn't want to know how much the ashwebi. But as long as you've taken that ashwebi as the most important thing
over
what the child needs, not wants in this regard.
I think on that note, we need to really differentiate different kinds of parenting.
Exactly.
Like that kind of parent is a negligent parent.
Yes, true.
We have permissive parent that anything the child wants, they give them. They don't know how to correct. Just give the child, just do. But neglect, parents that neglect their children's well-being. They feel okay.
Their needs.
They neglect. They don't know what is important to them. To her, she feels, I must look good. I must meet up to my friend. As in, just to feel cool in the society. Just meet up. Neglecting that the child too has a need that is more important. Sure. So, as a parent, what do you feel is more important to you? Is it the ashwebi you want to buy, or the car, or the needs of your children? Like she rightly said earlier that basically the food you give your children. Yes. What kind of food are you giving? Is it nutritious? How are you nurturing your child in the things they eat, in the clothing, what they put on, as in the education, the shelter you give them? These are the things that are important in their life. Not even maybe you buy game, you buy computer, you buy this, but those basic needs. How are you able to meet up to them? As a parent, what is your own priority in meeting up to the needs of a child? You know, we always say that, okay, it's not everybody that can birth a child are qualified to be called parents.
True.
You know, some people is just, I can be a mother once you're able to just get pregnant or to make someone get pregnant. Some people don't, they lack the ability, the responsibility of being a father. They don't know what it takes to be a father, to be a provider for the home. As a father, you know, we believe now, okay, father should be able to, before you can say, okay, I want to be a man, I want to be a husband, you should be able to provide some basic needs for your family, for at least for your wife. Then you know that you're going to raise a child, you must be able to provide for that child. So basic needs like food, clothing, shelter should be part of the plan. So it's not just you pick a lady and just say, oh, I just want to have fun, just let's have a baby and just start raising a baby. Have you ever thought of how are we going to raise this family? So that is very important for people who are about to start raising family.
Yes,
you know,
you need
what
to sit
have a
down.
structure you want to put down that, okay,
Very
this is the
important.
kind of school we want to put our child. And that one is very important between couple, you know, because it has really you know, it
destroyed
homes. You know, when the wife say, oh, this is the kind of school I want my child to go to, and the father is saying, no, this is what I can afford. I think that's another issue. You know, when the mother believes, okay, I want my children to have this kind of luxury life. I want them to be able to do this, to use this, I want to be taking them out to buy pizza every weekend. And the father say, this thing you are doing, this lifestyle you are doing is going to affect. We can't really meet up.
Exactly.
I think we should discuss that also, as between parents, between spouses. When the mother or the father want a kind of lifestyle, you know, she has a kind of high flyer, like maybe for people, for friends that like to compare themselves or compare their children with their friends. Okay, I want my children to go to this kind of school. Like, you know, I think it's very, very common in estates when they say that, okay, this is the kind of life children are living, this is the kind of cars they ride. You know, children, they talk a lot when they are with them. I saw this thing in this person's house. I wish we could have it. And the mother too believes that, oh, my children should be able to live this kind of. So let's talk about that. When the wife is someone that has a high taste and is affecting the finances, and the husband is saying, no, we can't really afford this. And the mother is trying to paint the father as if he's irresponsible, whereas he's struggling to meet the needs. But the mother wants the father to meet even the wants of the child, anything the child wants. So let's talk about that. I think you should talk about that first. Let's hear your view. When spouses have different views about the needs and wants of a child.
Okay, before I hit that topic, I want to share a small story about a friend. She's late now though, and you know, the husband used to tell her, look, the way and manner the school the kids are is too expensive.
Be coming down.
And so the man now said, okay, let me withdraw the children and put them to a school where I think I'll be comfortable paying. The woman said, no. Children
cannot go to that kind of school.
Cannot go to that kind of school. Unfortunately, she lost her job.
The wife
lost the job.
She was saying that actually because she could afford. So she believed, okay, if the husband can't pay the school fees, at least I can do it.
Now, when they brought the next school fees, you know, she said, okay, they were going to take a loan and the husband will be paying small and all that. Now, eventually, when they brought the receipt for school fees, you know, in her usual manner, oh my God, I cannot do this. I cannot afford to bring my children back, you know. She was like, look at this person's children. Look at this person's children. What would I? No, they are going to mock me. High BP.
The wife?
Yeah. She's late now.
Wow.
And the man married another one. And the children are going to the school that he is comfortable with. Now,
so who now lost it now?
Who lost out? The woman. Now, the truth about it, I want to advise women here when it comes to issues of, you see, I like to tell people something which they think that maybe I don't have it all. Nobody has it all. Now, There is this saying in old days, they say, cut your coat according to your size. I tell people, cut your coat according to your material.
Yes,
material
your
you
fabric,
have.
yes.
Your fabric. So that if it's short, you want to wear it short, you look at where you are going. So that you know if it's short, when you get it, they won't mock you. And you are confident of what you're wearing. Now, the truth about it is, does expensive school really define your child? That's the question. Before you now say, okay, I want to take my child to this school, and it's because they are too expensive and my friends cannot afford it. So when they ask, which school are your kids going to? You are proud to call the name. Be very careful so that your pockets will not be affected later, and at the end you bring the children to a standstill. Now the question you ask, husband and wife, like when I was getting married to my husband, we sat down and said, okay, fine, this is how many kids you are going to have. We are going to send them to average schools. We are not saying God will not bless us, but at that time, the capacity of what we have, what we can afford, let us start these children with. And to God be the glory, they are doing well. Now, I'm not against sending your children to expensive school, but whatsoever you guys have agreed, and it is now, if it is now becoming a pain, a burden in your neck, withdraw the kids, take them to another school that is convenient for you and comfortable also for the children, so that tomorrow you will not say, I cannot afford it. So you and your wife, you're fighting, you and your husband, you're having issues. Frustration sets in. It will still tell back on that same children that you have put in that so very expensive school, and yet they are bad behaved, they lack morals, they lack character, and for all I care, they lack home training. Because you are trying to meet up to standard, meet up to your pockets, and be there for your children. Create time. If you give your child the whole of education, the whole money, send them to 1 million naira school, and you don't create time for them, you don't even ask them questions. Well, I don't want to pronounce what happens.
I think we really discussed a bit about that last week, about the behavior of a child. Is it meeting up their needs, giving them everything they needed? Does it add value to what the child becomes in future? But we realize that most importantly, the home training, and the home training it doesn't even start from them. It starts from individual as parents. As in, what are so important? What are your own priorities? As in, are you a mother that you already have a self-esteem? Because like that mother that is saying, my children are not going to the right school, she already, if she could search herself, she has a kind of self-esteem issue that she believes that is until when I have this kind of lifestyle that I will be reckoned with, that I will be able to feel among. So as individual, as a parent, I think there's need for individual to deal with their personal, I think, healing the inner child. You know, we talk about that too, some unmet needs, some things that you feel, okay, it is until when I have this thing that I will be, I will be among the, as a qualified people that will, okay, yes, this person has arrived. So as a parent, you need to deal with that yourself. Those as a repressive issue that you have as a person, the self-esteem issue, the things that makes you feel shame, that make you blame yourself as if, you are not enough. And that thing has been causing a lot of issue between spouses. So once you're able to deal with that, you'll be able to lay a foundational value for your family, for your children, by making him or those children understand what is important to you now. Okay, if I give you this value, no matter where you are, I make you understand the value of education. Whether you are in an average school or even in public school, we've seen children in public school that they still, they still grew up to be as in outstanding outside. You understand? So it's not really fine. It's good if I have the money to put my children to the best of the best school. I don't mind, but I wouldn't make it be. There's some other things you could give a child apart from even going to the best of the best school. Apart from that, once you make the child understand the value of education, as in what are the other things? Maybe getting extra lesson. What are you doing as a parent to help the child improve academically? So that is the role of the parent, of the mother and the father. So it's important for the two of them to really come together. Like you said that before you started having children, you sat down and you talk about it. A lot of parents don't talk about this. You just start making children. It's important. How many children can we afford? Is it about just making your wife pregnant? You just don't think about, can we really afford the quality life we want to give to these children? If there's only one child, you can afford, give that child the
Child
best.
the best of
You want to
life.
say something?
Yes, I want to
Yeah,
say
we have less than 5 minutes, so let's just give us your final take on this.
What I want to say, because of time, let me just leave that. And I want to let the parents know that we parents must always have one voice. One voice.
It's very
important. Because there's some situation whereby a father will tell the child, we cannot afford this, your want.
Yes.
For now, or even if it is your need, but let's explain to the child why we can afford it now, and let this child see. But the mother, on the other hand, will be like, don't mind, is an irresponsible.
But do you think it's bad? Do you think that is bad? Because there's some fathers that, when you give them bills for your school, maybe did you go to boarding house? I've heard the story of someone that said whenever she's going to boarding house and she gives her father the bill, and the father will just cut everything. And the child will just leave crying, get angry. Why can't he just meet up this thing? And the mother, on the other hand, might just say, okay, don't worry, I'll give you. Don't mind, I'll give you. Now, how do we now, briefly, let's talk about how do we now strike? Is it wrong when the mother is trying to meet up? The mother really knows that, okay, this girl really needs this thing. Is it wrong? Because you're talking about having one voice.
Now, let me tell you the reason why it's wrong.
Okay.
You're automatically telling the child not to trust the father. Now, if you go back and you say, don't worry, I'll talk to your dad about it.
Fine.
I'll talk to your dad
and
about it.
even at the end of the day, you were even the one that
provided that. Exactly.
Yes.
So even if you have told that child now, you can now go to your husband, and even if your husband still stands his ground, that is what he wants, you can now go back and say, okay, your daddy said I should give this to you. You add it to the money that he has given to you. Now, that child will never go back and say, mommy gave me money. He or she will like, my daddy added more money. Daddy, thank you, God bless you, and that ends it. And the father will be like, because he doesn't know, but all he wants is, mommy, at least my child came to appreciate me and all that, and my child is happy. Okay, fine, and it's good. But the moment you create that division, the child will always come to you. Even when she's doing something wrong. Mommy, daddy saying will not give me. Mommy, and you are like, don't worry, I'll sort it out. And you go ahead and sort it out.
And keep sorting it out.
You have backstabbed your husband, and you have made him feel like a low life in front of your children.
In front of your children.
So it is very important. Now, please, parents, I know that parenting could be a little bit taxing and all that, but please, we need to create time for our children, create time for them. It's very important. Help them to understand, teach them to think. Teach them to think. It is very important. Don't just say no.
Let them understand
why you are saying no at that particular time. If it is not visible, let them understand. If it is possible, make them understand the reason why you are giving it to them and how they should handle it. And help them. You see this thing, kids are looking at us. Help yourself. Be that mirror. That when that child goes out, because that child is your replica in character, in attitude, in everything. So build up that thing when your child sees you, and when they see that child, this is this person's child, this is this person's son, and it carries a good name. And at the same time, you are also grooming that child. And on that note of training a child, I think we should learn to teach our children money management. Is very important.
Very, very important.
Teach them money management.
But in a situation whereby the mother or the father cannot even manage money,
that's the problem.
So that's why I always still say that it boils down back
to the parent.
This thing is, it's about just as in
we must learn
we need
to
be
do things right.
Things we want to see in
that
our children.
Do it. But do you know we end up flogging them for the wrongs we do? We end up flogging our children when we see them doing wrong. We end up flogging them. Why did you do that? in our closet, we don't do it right.
We still do the same thing. That's where the agent that says remove the plank from your eye
before you remove somebody's
So
own.
you know you want to correct a child and the child still see, oh mommy, you're still doing the same thing. Or even if it doesn't even sees you doing it, you know yourself that you are guilty of this.
That's it.
Well, I think we need to just wrap it up on this. On this, you know, this topic is inexhaustive. We can't just exhaust it. We still continue it because you know we're trying to just build a better structure. Like I said, that don't feel okay, because you know someone will say okay, I wanted to invite someone and say I don't think I have it all, or I have it. No, we don't have it all. Likewise, you know, we're trying to work on ourselves using our own experiences to teach us, to help us, to help the society that don't even know about this. So it's about learning how to build better children in the society that will grow up to be better and responsible adults in society. At least if you can't even remember anything from this show today, just remember this. Parents, please always have one voice when you are training a child. Have one voice about what you want to do for them. Then have an agreement, have a structure you want to build a family on. And also try to explain to them the difference between needs and wants. Then any training you want to give your child, whatever you want to see, it starts from childhood. Whatsoever, if you are if you're observing some traits, some issues, some symptoms that could really affect the child, you know, you've seen some things. Maybe the child is throwing tantrums, is having anger issue. From childhood, from a very, very tender age, like maybe from 6 months, 1 year, try as much as possible to correct that child. Correct that child in love. Try to make that child know that there's something called no. Don't always say, oh, I just have to give this child to let me rest. Because the child you try to provide everything for just because you want to rest is still going to grow up to give you no problem. So at a tender age, before that child grows up to embarrass you publicly, please try to put some things in check. If you can't really manage it, that is why we recommend you see a counselor, a child psychologist, or even a counselor for yourself to know how, because you know this could, as a parent, if you can't control this, it could cause you to react in some ways to your child, by overreacting on the child and causing more damage. You know, as a parent, we need to see a counselor if your child is going through some behavior, some behavior that could be damaging to him. Try to see a counselor. Take your child to a therapist or a counselor to help them go through this issue. So please, let's work together to make things work, to make this better, because together we're trying to create a saner society for ourselves. And I believe you really learned a lot from this. And I really want to say thank you for joining us on Facebook. For everyone that joined us on Facebook, thank you very much. I really appreciate you and celebrate you for always coming online. And like I said, if you have any question, please kindly drop it. We're going to still treat it. And if there's any topic, any pressing issue you feel we should talk about, please just drop it in the comment section. We're going to talk about it. I really want to thank my co-hosts. And I say I call you Kolia, you're my co-host, because it's been amazing sharing this. I learned a lot from you, from all the gist we always have behind the scene. I said, let's bring this thing online so that people will learn from us too. I really want to celebrate you.
Thank you.
Mama, I call her Mama Licious, Mama of the babes. Thank you for coming online. Thank you for joining me, for supporting me. And
thank you for
my sister, she's my stylist, she's my fashion guru. Thank you for coming online for sharing from your world of wisdom with us. Today again, I celebrate you. So till we come again next week. Till we come again next week for another topic. I think I really want us to really talk more about this issue again. So we're still going to talk more about this next week. So till we come again next week, it's me, Bumi Alabi, signing out and say, take care, do enjoy yourself. Please, self-care is very important. Self-care for yourself, because it is only a mentally stable parent that can really raise a mentally stable child. Take care of yourself, and God bless you. Bye.
Bye.